Hello fellow beaders. On my craft table today I am having a tutorial to make a double cubic right angle weave bangle like this. So this pattern is a recreation, the green bangle is a recreation of called Lollipop by Sabine Lippert, and I have a link above of this in my description box. Okay, so this one is a double cubic right angle weave bangle, and it is made up of units like this. See, one unit is a double cubic right angle weave, and we are going to be making a continuous double cubic right angle weaves like this to make it into a bangle. So we are going to be working units together so that it forms into a bangle, and then you can either make it into a bangle or into a bracelet. I'm very excited as well as nervous to show you how this stitch works, because it is a little bit like a jigsaw puzzle where you will have to learn to fit the beads together, or you will have to understand the layout of the beads together to make them all work together. So you see, I'm going to be using only two colors in the tutorial because it's easy for you to understand the stitch also. And I'm also trying to show you with as we go along, and I'm going to show you with samples of how the stitch works and how it all fits together. Okay, and I hope this attempt of mine is going to be useful for you. So the material that I'm using Nymo size D thread, and I'm using a nylon thread like this because we need a little bit of ease. We don't want a thicker thread because we don't want it to make it too stiff. See, as it is, the stitch is very stiff, but if you're going to use a stronger thread, it's going to be more stiff and you cannot bend it into a bangle or into a bracelet. Okay, so use a nylon thread, and the needle I am using is a size 10 beading needle, and I have taken a sufficient length of thread, and there is a stop bead to begin with. There is a stop bead at the end of the thread. Okay, and the two colors I am using are orange and yellow in size 8, and I have made some samples to show you as we go along. So please don't be intimidated by all this variety that you can see here. This is just for making you understand the placement of the beads and how it all fits together. See, this bangle has 3 colors, whereas I am going to be using only 2 colors, which will be more easier for you to understand. Okay, so see, just 2 colors here like this, and later I'll also be showing you how to add add in 3 colors to make it into a different design, like how you see in the green bangle. Okay, so let's begin. And before that, I'll want to show you some samples of how different colors affect the stitch. So here you see I have used 3 colors, and the pink color that you can see is just only in one part of it, and the other is green and gold. And in this one is a different setup of, or different 3 color beads which I have used in different ways. And the units that you make is going to vary. The look is going to really very different in the way you set up your beads. Okay, so this in this one, the pink one is just to join both it's like joining both the units of the DCRAW together. And what you see here is another sample that I'm going to be making for a chain, which the tutorial might come up later. Okay, so here we have 2 color beads. One is yellow and one is orange, and then of course I'm starting with the Nymo thread. So let's move away what we don't want here on the table, and we can start with, and let's get ahead and we'll see how the stitches worked. So there's a stop bead here. So first I will explain how the stitch is made. Okay, so this is a double right angle weave, right? So let me explain what is a double right angle weave. To understand what's a double right angle weave, you should know what is a right angle weave. A right angle weave is a unit like this, which is made up of 4 beads. When you stitch 4 beads together into a square, so this becomes a right angle weave. And this unit here you see is a double right angle weave. A double right angle weave has got 4 beads in the inner square. So let me call this one as the inner square. And you have 4 more beads on the outer square. So these 4 yellow beads are placed in between the 4 beads which formed the inner square. Okay, so when you add 4 beads like this to an already existing right angle weave, this becomes a double right angle weave. I am going to be referring to the 4 orange beads as the inner square and the 4 yellow beads as the outer square. So that is for the reference in the tutorial. Okay, see now here, this is the base. So this is a double right angle weave, the base. And from this base we are going to be building more double right angle weaves. See, this is 1 double right angle weave, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. So we are going to be building 4 double right angle weaves from the base, and that's why it's called a cubic right angle weave. Okay, 1 unit of double right angle weave will rise from each corner. See, this one is 1 unit. Like that, there will be 4 units in 4 corners. So start with the right angle weave, make it into a double right angle weave, and then from there onwards we will be rising up and making more double right angle weaves, and then joining it all together to make it into a cube or a cubic right angle weave. So from each part, see, let me pick it up and show you. See, from each outer square, that is from the yellow beads, we'll be adding one more double right angle weave from 1, 2, 3 and 4 sides also. So you see in this sample, you see here there is a base, and then first we'll be adding one double right angle weave from one of the corner, and then we'll be adding another one from the next corner, and see, this is how it will form like into a box or into a cube. So after you add the first unit of double right angle weave, this is how your work will be looking. And when you add another double right angle weave from another corner, they will join together like this. We'll be joining it together like this. This will be the second side of the cube. See, like this. That's the base, and these are the 2 units that we have added in this sample. I'll be showing you how to stitch, but I'm just explaining to you how this each unit is placed together to make it into a cube. Then there'll be another third one from there and another fourth one from there, and all these 4 will join together and make a cube. So 1 on the base and 4 on the 4 corners. Now let me begin now. So I have a stop bead at the beginning of my thread, and now to make the first right angle weave, I have picked up 4 of the orange beads. What I am going to make is this first unit now. 4 beads on my thread. Bring it down to the stop bead. Pass your needle back into the first bead, and when you pass it like this and pull it, it will become into a right angle weave unit. Okay, so it becomes a square. The first right angle weave is made. Now to make it into a double right angle weave, I'm just turning it because it's easy for me to move to the right side, so that's why. So now I'm going to be making it into a double right angle weave. Pick up one of the yellow beads and place it in between the two beads like that, and pick up one more yellow, pass it through the next orange, pick up one more, and technically we are actually placing one bead between the four beads. And when we do that, we are finishing now, and when we do that, this is how your unit will look. This is called as a double right angle weave. Okay, and now you see your thread is coming out of an orange bead. So to finish this round, you will have to bring your thread out of the yellow or the outer square or the corner. So there are various names in which I'll be referring to. So when you do this, you see your first unit of double right angle weave is done. This is the base, and now we'll have to proceed upwards. So before that, so I want to tell you, because you should remember that this is the base unit, right? So because as we work, we are going to get very confused and we don't know which is going to be the base and which is the sides. So what I will do is I'm taking a small bit of tape, which you should not leave any residue on your beadwork, and just put a small tape at the bottom just to show that it is the base, and we are going to be working from the four corners from now onwards. That's just an identification so that we'll know from where we are started to work. Now when your concentration should be on the four yellow beads in the outer square. Okay, so now the next step will be to build more double right angle weaves from every corner. See, the first one will be built like this. Okay, now if you see, there is a yellow bead already there on the base, so you will not technically be needing one of the yellow beads which is in this double right angle weave. Okay, so this bead we may not use, or rather I will tell you, we are going to begin the next unit from that yellow bead as the base. So you should imagine that yellow bead of the outer circle is already there. So from that point we are starting the next unit. Now to build a unit of double right angle weave, we should always begin with a right angle weave first. Okay, so right angle weave, like I told you, consists of 4 beads. So those 4 beads have to be added here first, and then we will make it into the double right angle weave. Okay, now before that also there is another step I like you to follow. What I will do is, in order to understand or to remember the base, we put the small sticker there, right? So also to remember which are the 4 corners that we should be using for this round, I am going to place small dots on all the 4 corner beads or the 4 outer square beads. Okay, just for marking, mark it with maybe a Sharpie marker or something, so that you can easily wipe away. Just make a small dot on all the 4 beads. And now these beads are going to be hidden in the cube, so it doesn't matter, don't make a big mark, but make a small one which can be wiped away, or even if it's not wiped away, it will be hidden inside the cube. Okay, so I've just, after making the mark, now you see that's the base, and this way I'm going to start working. So this 4 marks will help you to remember which are the 4 corners on which you have to build your next step. I'm just explaining to you once again. Excuse me, because I'm too enthusiastic to explain very clearly. So I think I'm doing it sometimes double times, which may be little difficult for you to, it's going to be little sometimes irritating to hear the same thing. But just I'm going to show you. So you see, to begin adding a double right angle weave, first we should start with a right angle weave unit. Okay, so first this should be, these 4 beads have to be added first. And the thread is now coming out of the corner bead, which is the correct position. And when you add the 4 beads of the right angle weave, this is how your work should look. So pick up 4 of the orange beads or the inner square beads, and your thread is coming out from one direction, and bring your needle into the same bead from the other direction. So right angle weave is always worked like this. And now you see, we have added 4 beads, which actually does not make up, and you see the picture, it doesn't look like a right angle weave because that yellow bead is already there. See that yellow that I am pointing out there is the one that's already here on from the base. So we are kind of sharing it. So that is a common bead for both the units. And we are going to be, so you have to imagine that one yellow is already there, and you have to add now only 3 more yellows. Okay, your thread is now, the thread is now coming out from the yellow bead, but you cannot add your next bead here, because remember you have to add yellow beads in between 2 orange beads, right? So you take your needle into the next bead. So now you are in the right position to add the outer square or the yellow bead to make it into a double right angle weave. So one yellow has to be placed here. Pick up one yellow, go into the adjacent bead. So this is your second of bead for the outer square, and pick up one more yellow and pass it through the next bead. So okay, so what we are doing is we are placing one yellow between all these 4, right? So now there are already 3, if you can see in the picture, and now we are adding the 4th one. So one was already there and we added 3, so that makes it now totally 4. And if you look at the unit in my hand, you can see by adding this last yellow bead there, I am going to be making a double right angle weave unit. And this double right angle weave will not finish unless you pass it back from where you started. Always you will be doing this motion, this round stitching in order to complete the stitch. And what I mean by rounding is, that is, you will come back into the same bead from where you started. So the second double right angle weave is done, and the third right angle weave, double right angle weave must start from the next bead that we have marked. So that's the yellow bead, and to reach that yellow bead I will have to be passing through 2 beads now. If you can see the pass that I did, I passed it into the orange and the yellow, and now I am in the corner now. So in the corner, like I said, add the next right angle weave first. You will be adding the right angle weave beads. So we will be adding 4 orange beads, pick up 4 and pass it into the same bead again from the other direction. See, the bead is coming out, the thread is coming out from the up. Now you are going to pass your needle from the down, and you have added the first you have added the unit of the for the right angle weave, and your thread is now coming out of one of the yellow bead or the corner bead, or this is the first of the 4 that goes into the next or the outer square. So one is already here. Now you need to add 3 more. To add 3 more, you have to pass your needle to go to the next place where you have to add the next one for the outer square. This is the second one, and pick up one more yellow and pass it through the next bead. So there are 3 now. Okay, now there is a slight change here. We are not going to be adding the fourth yellow bead, because we are going to be using this or sharing this with the previous one, and it's going to be attached like this. Okay, it's going to be sharing, or we are going to use that previous yellow from the previous square to attach it like this. See, it fits perfectly like this. If you add another yellow extra, it will not join together, or it will not fix together, or the puzzle will not fit like that. So this is how it fits. And to do that, so we'll assume that the bead that we are going to share is the new one that you are going to add, and we'll do the stitch like how you normally do. See, now what you normally do would, you would take a yellow bead and go from the top to the bottom, or from the top towards the center to add it. So that would be the natural or the way you would add a bead there if you need to. But we are not going to be adding an extra bead like I told you. So this is an extra bead. We see, and you see the direction of the needle. It has to go from the top to the center. See, pass your needle from this direction towards the center. Once again, see, if you're going to take this new bead, you're going to be passing it like this. But what we are going to do, so the same way we are going to pass our needle in this direction, but only is the bead will not be there. So I just dropped the bead I picked up. There is no bead on my thread. Now I have passed the needle to share it with the adjacent yellow one, and without forgetting, don't forget to complete this stitch. You have to pass it again into the orange bead. So this completes the stitch, but not yet. As always, your needle should come out from where you started. Okay, it started from the yellow, so bring your needle out from the yellow bead. So this completes the second double right angle weave unit. Remember, we have to add 4 units here. So we have added only 2 now, and now I am to move to the next corner. See, we have finished 2. To move to the next corner, I have to pass my I have to pass my needle to go reach the third corner. So see, there's a mark here, and of course the mark is missing there, but we know that is where we have to go, like I've explained earlier. See, the thread is still here, so move your thread 2 beads up like this, or move it to the next corner. So after passing through 2 beads, I have come to the corner, and again here we have to make a double right angle weave unit, but To make a double right angle weave, we have to start with the right angle weave first, which means we are going to be adding 4 more beads again to make the right angle weave. Pick up 4. Your thread is coming out in that direction, so bring your needle into the same bead again in the other direction. After you do that, move your needle up 1 bead so that you're in a position to add the outer square beads. So you added 1 now, and now I am adding the second one. Here again we are going to be sharing the same way that we did for the second unit. So we are going to be sharing this one and completing the third unit. As again you have to make sure of the direction in which you are going to be passing your needle. Make sure that you insert your needle from the top towards the center. That will be from the top towards the center, like that. And to complete that stitch, you will have to pass it through the next bead in that unit, and as always pass your needle back into the bead from where you started, which completes the third unit. You see, at the end of adding the third unit, this is how it will look. This is how, see, it becomes into a cube. You can see that's the bottom. You can see in the tape that I put there. So we added the first double right angle weave unit there, the second one and the third one. So we have completed 3. Now we have to add the fourth one, which will make it into a cube. We have added 3, right? So let's do the last one. And the last one, again we'll have to begin from the corner. So I have made a mark there, but which might be missing now. But by now I know you should be knowing which is the bead from where we are going to be building the next unit. So I've moved my bead up to the corner in preparation for adding the next unit. So before that, let me remove this stop bead because we don't need that now. Yeah, so now I am ready to start the last and final unit to make it into a cube. See, my tape is still there, which shows that that is the bottom. And see, 3 units I have added like this. But unless you make it into a cube, it won't look like a cube for now. It will all come together only when we add the 4th unit, which we are going to do now. Again, I am repeating the same thing. So start by adding a right angle weave first. So pick up 4 beads and go through the same bead from the other direction. Move your needle up 1 bead. So you will be ready to add the yellow or the outer square bead. Now here is where you have to pay more attention when you are adding the 4th unit. See, now we are going to be now making it into a cube, and look at it as a cube now. So if you notice here, there is a right angle weave that I've added, and if you notice there, see, you can see there's a yellow bead here on the right side, and there's a yellow bead on the left side. So these two yellow beads which comes from the previous units are going to be shared with the right angle weave unit I added now. Okay, so this will be shared on the right side and the left one will be shared on the left side. So there's no need to pick up a bead now, you're just going to be sharing it now. So when you hold your work in your hand, you will be able to see and understand how this is all coming together. And even if you mistakenly put a bead there, you will know that you are making something wrong. So I'm moving now ahead, and I have passed my needle into the bead from the adjacent unit, and thus I have used the yellow bead from the previous unit to attach it. But here you see I cannot use, there is no bead that I can share with any other unit, so I am adding one here. And when I come to the next side again, I have to share it with the previous unit. So pass your needle from the top to the bottom or towards the center. Okay, instead of picking up a bead, share the bead. See, you cannot pass your needle from this direction. Okay, so you have to keep just watch out from which angle you are moving your needle and thread. So move your thread, imagining that you are adding a new bead now, but in reality you are actually sharing the bead from the previous unit. And as usual, you will complete that unit by again taking your needle back in from where you started. So we started from the yellow bead, so now I am back here and I have now completed that side too. See, now if you see, this is where you can see like a cube. See, this is the base. Oh, my sticker is now missing, but it's on my finger, which I didn't notice when I was recording. So that's the base, and now we have added 4 sides. And they all look identical, you see. At this stage, they all are, of course, they have to be identical because it is a cubic right angle weaves. And this, see the units, there will be 4 units if you turn your work and look. There are 4 units, and that is why this is called as a double cubic right angle weave. There will be 4 sides only. And now you see the thread is here, which is actually at the base. Now since we have to move our work up, so naturally we have to take this thread up to where we need it now. So now this thread is still at the base, you will have to move it up now. Right? Okay, to move it up, take your thread in the same direction as your beadwork, which will be, you can either take it you see through only the orange beads, or you can even pass it through the yellow also, and bring your thread up where we are going to need it, that is on the top. By top I mean from where the bottom is, from where we started. So we have built 4 units, and now my thread is on the top. See, if you can see here, you can see 4 yellow beads prominently standing out. So those 4 are actually the 4 outer square beads. Okay, see, there are 4 outer square beads. By now you know what I am telling, but I am constantly repeating. I am sorry for that. I am just trying to make it more clear for you. Okay, so we have 4 outer square beads now. Now to close up this, to make it into a cube, what we need is a right angle weave unit like this. See, when you have a right angle weave unit like this, it will close it up. There are 4 outer square beads, you add the 4 inner square beads, and it will become into a double right angle weave, or it will close up this cube like this, and make it into a double cubic right angle weave unit. So to do that, what I will do is, so see, your thread is now coming out from one of the yellow beads. I have picked up 4 beads to make a right angle weave, and I am passing the needle back into the same bead. So you see the 4 right angle weave is here, and now we will close this up like this. Okay, to close it up, you are not going to be adding any more beads, but we are only going to weave it inside together with the outer square, so that it becomes like a lid. So now pass your needle through the first orange bead, now into the next yellow bead, next into the orange bead that you have added now, again into the yellow. Remember, you are not adding any beads, you are just weaving all of them together, but it will be in alternate colors. See, one orange and one yellow, one orange and one yellow. So your needle is going to be passing through beads like this, and make sure that you pass through all of them like this. And when you pass through all of them like this, and when you tighten them up, you can now see that I have placed those 4 beads of the right angle weave in between those 4 yellow beads. And now you can see we have a beaded bead, we have a unit of a DCRAW, and with this unit you can play around and make many things, but in this we are going to be making a bangle. Fine. So we started with a double right angle weave, and now you see we have got a whole cube of double right angle weaves. So this is the double cubic right angle weave. So with just one base, we have built 4 above that and 1 on top of it and made it into a cube. This is a beaded bead by itself, and you can use it also in many ways. So once you finish this, take some time and admire your work, because it is a lot of work to get one unit ready, but it's going to be easier as we move around. And now you see what the next step. So we have made one unit now, and we'll continue adding more units of DCRAW to get to make it into a bangle or a bracelet. But before that, if you take a look at the sample that I have made, see, in the sample you can see after one DCRAW unit there is a small dip like that. You see, there is it's not a continuous DCRAW units together. It is made up of some dips in between, or there is a separation between the units. Okay. Because if you make it all together, it will look just like a straight stick. But if you make it with separations like this, the effect is going to be pretty, and each unit will be separated, and then it will look like a bead by itself. So now the next step is to make that smaller unit that you see here, and that unit is going to be built on this. And what we are exactly going to do is we are going to be making a cubic right angle weave, and that cubic right angle weave is going to be built on the 4 of the orange beads. That's the inner square, so these 4 beads, on that we are going to build a cubic right angle weave. See, I'll show you. See, it's not exactly the exact picture of how it will be, but this is how we are going to be placing 4 more or a couple of more beads on this to get that dip, or to get that shape in between the 2 units of DCRAW. Okay, and that is what we will be learning in the next episode. So see you there in part 2.